Welcome, this is Shakti, your online astrologer, and today I'm going to talk about the Mercury Retrograde in Pisces, which is happening February 6th and turning direct February 28th. So we will talk about what is exactly happening when Mercury goes retrograde. And because it's in Pisces, we're going to talk about the Piscean archetype and how the Mercury kind of interacts with that. And then at the end, we will have some practical suggestions how to be in the best mode with this particular Mercury retrograde. And this poor guy really has a pretty bad reputation. So we're just going to take a deeper look. My name is Shakti Carola Navran. I'm your host today. I live on Maui, that's why I do most of my work online. I've been doing astrology for 35 years and I love teaching this stuff because it has been such an enrichment for me and my life. So I hope you will enjoy today's show. As I said, this Mercury retrograde is starting in Pisces. Exactly at 3 degrees in Pisces, and it's going to go all the way back to 18 degrees Aquarius, and there it will turn direct on February 28th. Here I have some retrograde dates for you for the Mercury 2014. And you can see we have 3 retrograde phases of Mercury, which it mostly have every year. So the next phase is coming up in October. So you might ask yourself, what's all the fuss about Mercury retrogrades? What actually happens when a planet turns retrograde? So basically it's a visual illusion. So it seems the planet turning retrograde is going backwards. And because astrology is an empiric science, it does do something very specific. So even if it's just our perception. So what's happening in the case of the Mercury, it's going back into degrees it already has been before. It's kind of revisiting and deepening specific themes. And as you might have heard, the Mercury retrograde gets a very bad reputation. So we will have a deeper look into that. So let's have a look at Mercury and what he originally is representing for us. So you can find often that Mercury is depicted as a male figure having winged sandals and a winged hat, which is symbolically indicating the ability to travel quick, to be the messenger of the gods between different dimensions. And he's often seen as a trickster, somebody who has his own mind. In general, in your birth chart, Mercury is representing your perceptions, your mind, how you filter the world, your ability to learn, to communicate, and to speak, to find your voice, to express yourself. So ultimately it's about openness and flexibility of the mind, of the perceptions. Mercury is also known as the official messenger of the ancient gods and goddesses, immortal himself, and he also, as being in between those different layers of dimensions, he is thought as governing all kinds of communications. Mercury is also well known as the symbol for healers. And according to all these different areas we attribute to Mercury, when Mercury turns retrograde, it's said that those areas are in trouble, we're challenged. So the negative aspects of retrograde Mercury are supposed to be in all areas of communications and connections with others. So you might feel more challenged than usual. But I really want to point out that a retrograde planet in itself is not a bad thing. Retrograde means that planet is kind of revisiting degrees of a sign it has been in before. So it's more like an introverted direction. It's going inward. It's kind of deepening. And in my book, that's not a bad thing. But of course, objectively with Mercury, because he's so fast and quicksilver and agile and open, that's not necessarily something what Mercury likes to do, this inward deepening, revisiting areas. So this is maybe where the myth comes from, that retrograde Mercury is a bad thing. It is also said that the trouble Mercury causes is with electrical equipment and computers in general. Everything where it's about connection through mail, email, words seem to take more effort than usually. I don't know if I can really agree to that from my personal observation, so I would love to hear back from you if you have seen that you had more challenges in that area than usual. I mean, I have computer trouble and electrical equipment trouble all the time, but I haven't been really able to relate it back. But when something like that happens in Mercury retrograde, we have somebody to blame it on. Then the other myth is trouble with air flights, missing your plane leaving late. Again, I haven't had that happen to me, so I would like to hear from you. So instead of kind of poking at the poor Mercury guy and what's all bad when it turns retrograde, I really want to dive into what's the potential here. And the potential has a lot to do with the mysteries of Pisces, because this is where Mercury starts his backward journey, that inward orientation. And that is something I can relate to. So let's have a look. So the Piscean personality in general is understood by knowing it's a water sign. It's the last sign of the evolution in the zodiac of the 12 signs. And as that, Pisces is a sign of learning about surrender, of letting go your personal ego identities into transcendence. Pisces is ruled by Neptune and is the archetype of the mystic. So here it's really about all the mysteries, all the things we kind of don't really have a true understanding, because it's about the creative forces underlying the three-dimensional reality as we perceive it. When we talk about Pisces, we have here the spiritual seeker, the dreamer, the hermit, the poet, the seer, the visionary. So these are all archetypes who are kind of bringing in, channeling, are inspired by those non-physical dimensions of reality. So let's recap about Mercury. We know him as a communicator, a storyteller, representing learning and perception in general. When we have learned enough, it's natural that we move on to teaching what we have learned. Wherever your Mercury in your natal chart, your birth chart is, this is the area and the way, depending on which sign it is, how you have to find your voice. And this is obviously a very important part of our evolution. Mercury in general likes to collect facts and gain a clear, unobstructed vision and perspective. So ultimately, Mercury is about how we process the world around us through our senses and insights. So now with this retrograde Mercury in Pisces, we have to put those pieces together. So if Pisces is about the connection with the divine, about being part of something bigger, developing a disattachment from our ego structure, and moving closer to a oneness perspective, a oneness state of consciousness. That brings us to that sense of surrender to life. So the high road for Mercury in Pisces here is to get a glimpse of that higher perspective, of that unattached wisdom perspective. And that is the reason why in this retrograde period, we all will need more time than usual for introspection, to meditate, and to just really, truly find our connection with the divine, with God, with that kind of perspective onto our life. So it's a wonderful month to really make your spiritual evolution, your spiritual journey a priority, to allow that extra time. As a gemstone expert and astrologer, I work with the true birthstones or gemstones which relate to the signature of planets. So one of the Piscean true birthstones is the amethyst. And the amethyst is a stone which can help us opening up our crown chakra. So here for the Mercury retrograde, it's a wonderful stone to help you to meditate, to clear your mind, to open yourself for that higher inspiration. If you want to find out more about the metaphysical and healing qualities of Pisces, I just uploaded yesterday a more in-depth video, which I do monthly, correlating to the sun sign and what the true birthstone is about. And so you can have a look at that if that's your interest. Enjoy the energies you want to integrate. So Pisces and Mercury in Pisces is all about integration. It's the last sign in one circle of evolution and growth and gaining that higher wisdom perspective as a result of that. So allow yourself that evolution, that time you will need in that retrograde phase for that integration to happen. I am interested to hear back from you how that process was for you and what your Mercury retrograde experiences are. If you haven't done so yet, you can sign up for your subscription now to be kept in the loop for upcoming forecasts. You can also go to my website and sign up for my newsletter there. It will give you some other informations and newsletters, and there you will get a free report for your love stone, which is based on your Venus position. So you get your birth chart and a love stone report for your Venus position, because that's something I have been doing for a very long time. So if you like my work, please like me, and I would really love to hear back from you and if you share my materials with others. Again, this is how you can reach me. I'm living in Hawaii, so my phone number is 808-878-8182, or you can go to my website, mauiastrologyreading.com. So if you're interested in a personal reading, that's how you can reach me. I have been doing astrology for 35 years, so I have a lot of experience, and I really, really love to do this work because I see again and again how much of a difference it can make in somebody's life to have that kind of high wisdom and evolutionary perspective. So call me and we can do our reading through Skype online. And you can come visit me here on Maui. So as we say here, aloha, and thank you for visiting, and I see you soon.